In this video, I'm going to show you your June checklist and everything that you need to be doing in the whitetail woods this month. So today is the first day of June, and I have a bunch of things that I've been doing. Just planted buckwheat a couple hours ago, and I'm going to show you everything that you can do this month to make sure that you're on target for this season in your hunt. And so this is a longer one, and I'll try to get through it pretty quickly, but we're going to start with number one, and that's buckwheat planting. And like I said, I just started planting buckwheat. I'm doing the Jeff Sturgis no-till method, and on part of my food plot, not all of it. And I'm going to see which one does better, the no-till or disking. And so I'm excited to see how that does. But I just planted buckwheat, smashed it down with the four-wheeler tires, sprayed Plot Start on it. So that was really cool to... this is my first year using buckwheat and trying out the no-till method. So if you haven't done that, try and get some buckwheat if you don't have it. And the first week of June is really the best time frame to start planting. Give it 8 weeks, and then August 1st I'm going to be planting brassicas, clover, peas, all kinds of that stuff. Sugar beet, not in the buckwheat, but separately I'm going to be planting sugar beets, some corn, and turnips. And so excited to see how my food plot does this summer using that buckwheat, or this fall. And then number two, we have summer buck identification, and that's kind of later into the month of June, but you can really start to see what bucks from last year are still here, made it through the season, and that hopefully you'll be able to pinpoint and target to shoot this season. So using just summer buck identification this month is really critical to make sure that you can see how that buck progresses, and making sure that he's not on your land too much during the summer, so that way he'll be here during the fall during the annual whitetail shift. And then kind of with that is trail cameras. And so I'm going to take some trail cameras out of the woods right now, and I'm just going to have one trail camera up on a mock scrape, and I'll get to that later. But trail cameras right now are really critical too, to make sure that you can identify where those summer bucks at and where they were from last season. And then number four is doe maintenance. And so doe maintenance is really important too, in making sure that there's not too many does, not too many doe family groups, not too many does that can push off bucks. And so if you have too many does, I have a whole in detail video of what too many does will do to your property, and I've seen it done to a lot of properties as well that I've hunted. And so, or a couple properties that I've hunted that's overran by does. If your property's overran by does, you're not going to have a good hunt this season. So making sure with the doe maintenance that you're not having too many does, and that if you decide to shoot some this season, if you need to, or if you need to let that deer herd grow a little bit more. The number five is bow tuning. And so this is a really important time too, to make sure that your bow's tuned, you're practicing with your bow, and that way you can have a good shot on a buck this season. The number six is late switchgrass planting, and I just planted some switchgrass maybe a week ago, and then I had some switchgrass that I planted a couple more weeks ago, and about 3 weeks ago that's growing pretty well too. So late switchgrass planting is in June, also are really good, and not as good as May, but they'll still do pretty good. You probably won't be able to get to mow them this year, but making sure you're spraying them, making sure that the weeds are dead when you're planting. The number seven is switchgrass mowing. And so we have some 2-year-old switchgrass that is here that we're going to mow here this month, and I'm excited to do that. Might take if you can't get a brush hog or a tractor in there, even taking a weed eater and seeing how well that does, and hopefully you can get a good kill on that. Not a good kill, but a good mowing with the weed eater. And so I'm going to be doing that in some other places this month, or in some other places this month as well. where I planted some switchgrass. And then number 8 is tree stand identification. And so right now you can do this really throughout the whole year, but really when you get into June and July, especially August is when I put up my stands. But these next couple of months are really crucial to make sure that you know where you're going to set up your stands, making sure that everything is right, so that way your access is right, where your trail cameras are at, how far away from your stand, which tree your stand's going to be in. So all those different factors come into play. And right now this is a great time to see where you're going to put some tree stands this season. And then number 9 is shooting lanes. And so like I said, some people put up tree stands in July, and that's okay as well. I might do that sometime as well, but shooting lanes are really good to clear out right now, especially if you're trying to get a big ladder stand into a tree, clearing those shooting lanes and clearing out so that way you can get that ladder stand to that particular tree. And then number 10 is planting check. And so I've already done this. I do this almost every other week, but really right now right in summer, I'm making sure that all my plantings are good. I just checked on some switchgrass that's starting to pop up. I'm checking on the trees from Coldstream Farms. I'm checking on just not even plantings, just checking on everything like water holes, trees you're going to put your tree stands in, blinds, if you have permanent blinds set up, checking those. Just really checking a lot of things, making sure that they're still good if you need to fix anything for your hunt this season. So I hope this checklist helps you this is what I'm doing in the woods this month, and I hope that you can do the same on your property this month as well.